Yes, guys, hello and welcome back to the Spurs-related YouTube channel and podcast. I hope everyone is doing very well. Today, we have another live stream for you guys. Sunday morning, just about going into the afternoon. But today, we are going to have a little look ahead at our next few Premier League and, of course, Champions League matches, as well as bringing you all the very latest to do with the Daniel Levy departure and what that may mean for Tottenham. We did a little video the other day, so go and check that out. Frank did a great job on that. And yeah, a few more little hints and tips that's going on to do with what may happen in the not so distant future. Could we be taken over? Could we have a massive investment that has been sort of lingering about in the sort of gossip mill, rumor mill, if you like? But yes, today we are going to be looking at all of the above. And I am, of course, joined alongside Thomas Frank's AI son, Frank Thomas. Frank, how you doing, mate? It feels a bit more quiet now. The window's done, but we like it. We like it, but we'd love a bit more excitement. The international break hasn't been quite that exciting, has it?
No, it's been quite a nice week of a bit of a break from Spurs, because I think for everyone's sake and sanity, a break from Spurs is good. But no, I'm ready to really get back into it and talk about Tottenham now as much as possible.
Absolutely, mate. And whether you're watching on live or on repeat, please do make sure you're doing the three magical free favors for us, which is, of course, hitting the like button down below, turning on your notification bells down below, and also the third one down below, subscribe if you are new. We're on our way to 5,000 subscribers now, and we appreciate all the support, all the comments, and all of the love. But as I said, we're going to get into talking about all things Tottenham in the next coming days and months. And soon, Frank, of course, we will be playing 2 matches every single week. Is our squad too thin? I think time will tell, but I think I know the answer, because we had a great window, but for me, it wasn't great enough. And we've got to expect bigger things and hopefully better things now that obviously Daniel Levy has been put to one side, and hopefully that now doesn't get in the way of negotiations that have gone wrong and the likes of Morgan Gibbs-White and Eze. And by the way, just a little off-the-cusp stuff, Eze had a stinker for England yesterday. I mean, he was absolutely, I was hate watching him. He's absolutely terrible. But anyway, Frank, we'll also bring the Spurs-relatables, all the latest on the international break as well. Of course, Christian Romero was playing. So was Rodrigo Bentancur. So was Pape Matar Sarr. Who else was playing? Xavi Simons. Jed Spence was on the bench. Unfortunately, didn't come on for England. So we'll get into the sort of international watch as well. And of course, Sonny scored against the USA last night. Lovely finish at the Red Bull Arena in America. South Korea 2, United States 0. But a nice finish from Sonny, and got the assist for the second. Have we sold him too soon? I've seen people saying it on Twitter. Did we even replace Sonny? There's the other question. But Frank, I guess, yeah, bringing the throwing the buck to you, mate. What's your thoughts on this international break so far? And anyone stand out before we get into the Tottenham games? Anyone stand out?
There's one bit of news that stands out, and it's that Romero's done. He got booked in the first one, which means he's suspended now for the second game. So he's coming home, which is big news in terms of that. I haven't seen a lot of it because international football bores the life out of me, to be brutally honest. But from the limited bits I have seen, I heard that Xavi Simons was all right the other night, and Van der Ven played all right as well. I'm just trying to think who else we've actually got. I know, obviously, I think Brazil, Uruguay and Argentina all won 3-0 the other night. So those few did all right. Pape Sarr scored a lovely goal for Senegal.
He did.
Sort of ball over the top, and he brought it down and sent a defender. So that was very nice. Other than that, unless I'm missing anything that I can't remember, I think that's probably it. I saw in terms of the youth lot, look, Williams-Barnett scored for England the other day. But yeah, other than that, I think it's been so far quite a quiet international break for some.
Did you see the Williams-Barnett goal, mate?
I've not seen it.
Free kick from about 30-something yards out, top right. Go and check that one out if you haven't seen it. Yeah, they were away at Uzbekistan, I think the under-18s. Lovely goal. But Guys, let us know what you thought of the international break. You've got Martin in here, as always. Big up, Martin. He's saying USA suck under Poch. They haven't had a good few months under him, that's for sure. I mean, going into that World Cup, if you were an American fan, you'd be a little bit worried. But yeah, I think you summarised it well. Romero obviously not involved for the rest of the games, which is a positive, I would say. He very much is sort of people would say country over club, but of course it's always good to have him back and in the mix again. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to the international break being over. He said Pape Matar, really, really nice goal for Senegal. I believe they were playing. Who did they play? They played Sudan.
Yeah.
And yeah, Pape Matar got the goal there. So lovely stuff indeed. Guys, who stood out for you on the international break? Let us know in the live chat or the comments below. What I'm going to do is quickly just share my screen. Here we go. So yeah, there we go. Koulibaly with the first and Pape Matar with the second against Sudan. It was a nice goal. Of course, we can't show you, but Senegal very much looking good for their qualifying group. Who lines up for the Senegal? Mane still involved. Gray. Ndai is a very good player. Of course, Frank and I wouldn't mind having him at Tottenham, we said once. And yes, Pape Matar with the goal.
Really good side, actually.
It is a good side, isn't it? It is a good side.
Juve as well, left back, West Ham kid. It's a good
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. So interesting stuff. Interesting stuff indeed. We will get into the Tottenham news in a minute in terms of, well, latest murmurs, but also the games coming up. I also wanted to just double check if Richarlison played any part in their 3-0 win. I don't even believe he came off the bench. But it was in the 79th minute for Rafinha. So Richarlison not really getting too much of a run out for Brazil, which is a little bit of a shame. But it kind of is what it is, you know? It is what it is. Here we go. 79th minute, he came on for Rafinha. And yes, Brazil beat Chile 3-0. And as you can see from there, we can't even look at it. I was going to show you this table. Argentina very much in command on that one as well. Romero and Co. I guess you could say Lo Celso very much looking like they're going to qualify. That's the South American group World Cup qualifiers. Let me try and get the table up for you. But yes, Argentina also won 3-0, which could have been Lionel Messi's last game in Argentina. Very emotional. I don't know if you saw, Frank. But yeah, interesting stuff. Absolutely, they battered Venezuela. And of course, Cuti Romero got the only card of the game for Argentina. Here we go. So yeah, this is, I mean, you say about lineups, Frank. How about this for a lineup? Not bad, eh? Not bad.
And that's a weak side for them as well. That's what makes me laugh, is that Thiago Almada, Paredes, Mastertuono, those three wouldn't usually start for that Argentina team, which makes it even more incredible that they're still that strong. I mean, Almada's a good player, but and so I'm not going to try and say his name again, but the kid that's gone to Real Madrid, they've got some unbelievable players coming.
This guy, Mastertuono.
Yeah, I'm going to butcher his name again. But yeah, he was the one that was at River Plate and ripping it up. So he's almost, hopefully, their next big one that they've got.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And yeah, I think it's interesting that they absolutely, Romero wouldn't have had anything to do, really. I mean, look, 17 shots to 5, 9 on to 0, 77% possession, very much, 93% pass accuracy as well. Argentina, very, very good side. I probably put them to maybe get something in the World Cup next time round. I've got a feeling, next year that they're gonna do something special. I really do. It'd be interesting to see if Messi does play a part, wouldn't it?
I imagine he will. I think that'll probably be the end for him next summer. But yeah, I mean, they're very strong. The thing is with them, they don't concede any goals, so they're unbelievably solid. I think next year there's a real chance though that there could be a country that wins it that have not won it before, or like you don't expect. Like I'm quite keen on Colombia. I think Canada are quite exciting. That sort of part of the world. I think there's a few over here that have got good coaching and good setups. I mean, Colombia are like unbeaten in 30 games, I think, or something.
Wow.
35 games, and it's not easy to play games over there in South America. There's a lot of tough sort of games and opposition you play, so that they could be interesting. But I imagine Argentina and France and probably somehow England will be the favourites.
Yeah,
Spain as well.
Yeah. Well, England always sort of in and amongst the favourites, but always seem to sort of bottle the last couple of hurdles, unfortunately, as much as it pains me to say. I'd love to see England win a major trophy. But the only other thing I'd mention on the international break, Jed Spence didn't get off the bench for England yesterday in one of the most boring matches I think I've ever watched in my life against Andorra, 2-0. And the other one was Xavi Simons, I think, played on the right for the Netherlands and didn't really get into the game much. But listen, let's not panic about him yet. That's for sure. I think the kid's going to be unbelievable. But they're also playing today at 5 o'clock, so keep your eye on that. Maybe he'll get involved against Lithuania away. But the other day, yes, they did play. Let me just double check. People in the chat probably quicker than me. They played Poland. They drew 1-1. Matty Cash scored. That is absolutely drastically terrible. But here you go. Yeah, Xavi Simons played on the right. Denzel Dumfries with the goal. Memphis Depay up front in Big 2025 is absolutely crazy. And yeah, they've got a good team, haven't they, really? Van Dijk, Van der Ven at left back, of course. How can I forget? And Gakpo, Simons, Reinders, and Depay isn't a bad front four, is it, Frank? To be honest, I'd say Depay is probably the weak link there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good side. Who's the Dutch manager now? Is it still Louis van Gaal?
It is Koeman.
Oh yeah, that's the downfall of them, because that's a good side. If they had a better number 9 instead of Depay, you look around them and they've got obviously the 3 behind them in Tijani Reinders, Gakpo, Simons, very strong. Gravenberch and De Jong, a sort of sensational double pivot.
Yeah,
Dumfries, the back line's perfect. The goalkeeper for Verbruggen's all right, but Depay is the clear weak link. But the manager is tactically abysmal. So I don't. For them, sadly for them, I don't see them going overly far solely because of that. It's a shame they can't find someone better in Holland that is, tactically on it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think, the number 9 is definitely their weak link. They've kind of missed their golden generation now of top strikers. Of course, once having, Robin van Persie, as much as it hurts me to say, but what a player he was. And of course, over the years, very, very, very good attacking talents. Obviously, Ian Robben once was an absolute magician. Again, Chelsea, another rival. But guys, that is kind of the international roundup. We're going to go into talking about, obviously, Tottenham, and the games ahead. So I'm going to stop my screen. Frank, you're going to share yours in just 1 minute. Guys, I think there's about 100 of you watching from this sort of random live stream. We didn't announce that we were going to go live, so please make sure you're doing me the 3 favors if you're watching on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, get over to our YouTube, smash the subscribe button. And if you're watching on YouTube now and you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Please turn on the notification bells down below and hit the like button for more Spurs content daily and live streams that we do, like I said, daily pretty much every single day for you guys. So make sure you've got all those 3 on. Frank, we're going to go into talking about Tottenham's up and coming games. As I said, it's a bit boring at the moment in terms of what we got coming up, but we have got some very tough fixtures, I would say. West Ham away, Villarreal 3 days later at home in the Champions League, kicking off that campaign. Then we go to the Amex, where I've actually got PTSD from being at last season when we went 2-0 up and lost 3-2.
Yeah.
It's always a difficult game at the Amex, that's for sure. And then a slightly, I say easier game, do I curse it? Home against Doncaster Rovers in the Carabao Cup 3rd round. I guess kind of crazy. Our first home Carabao Cup game, I believe, in about 6 years, Frank, in the 3rd round. We seem to
Certainly
always go away to Middlesbrough. Sorry, say again?
Certainly against a team that are winnable. I mean, last year we played at home, but it was City and United, I think. I know we played Coventry, actually, didn't we, away? That was before those 2. And then we got City in the 4th round.
That's right.
The point is we, it's rare that we play a team that are considerably lower level than we are.
Absolutely, absolutely, mate. So if you look at the dates on the left-hand side, September 13th, then September 16th, then September 20th, then September 24th. We've got a game, mate, every 3 or 4 days. It's absolutely nuts. And listen, this is where our squad is going to be really tested. I mean, do we have the depth? I'd argue probably not. And then even look, 4 days later, away at Leeds, a very difficult game at 12:30, in my opinion.
I think that
Wolves
takes
at
us
home, you'd like
to
to
the
think is 3
international break.
points, but if we're going through this now on paper, Frank, and guys in the chat watching, make sure you're getting your comments in on what you think, whether it's offline or whether you're watching live now. I can see there's 70 of you watching live. You're all been a bit quiet today. You've all been a bit quiet. That's fine. It's Sunday. You're all waking up. That's fine. But in terms of the matches, mate, on paper, what are you saying? West Ham away? I can see a draw. I really can see a draw. What can you see?
Yeah, I can. So I mean, I was looking at the head-to-head record of against West Ham. I'll see if I can quickly show it on here. And if you look at the last 3 times we played at West Ham, that they've all been 1-1, right? And before that, you have to go to Jose Mourinho's first game in charge at Tottenham when we lost 1 at West Ham.
Was that when Dele Alli did that flick on the touchline?
Yeah.
Oh, what a game that was.
It is hard to come by a Tottenham win at West Ham. The fear for me is obviously they've started badly and we've started in theory very well. If they beat us, we'll be level on points, and that's how quickly things can change. I actually think we're going to win it. I'm quite confident. Quietly, I could see us going there and winning 3-1 or something, and doing a job that we should do on them. And so hopefully we do that, and I think we will. I think in theory it's a game that we could drop points on, and I won't be furious with a draw because it happens every year, so I've kind of grown to expect it. But yeah, I've got a feeling that Tottenham might go there and win actually.
Absolutely, mate. I hope you're right. I'm just putting a poll in the chat, Frank. You take the lead for a second. I'm just going to put a poll in the chat. How many points, guys, do you think Spurs will get against West Ham, Brighton, and Wolves, aka our next 3 Premier League games out of 9? I'm going to put it in the comments, or if you want to chat it in the live chat, put it in. But how many points will Spurs get in their next 3 Premier League matches against West Ham, against Brighton, and against Wolves? Frank, I'm going to throw that question to you. I'll put it into the live chat options, the polls. And Frank, how many do you think?
To be sensible, I'll go with we'll draw at West Ham. I think if we get 5, it will be decent. I'll be quite content with 5. I think if we get 7, I'll be very happy, and if they get 9, I'll be absolutely delighted. I think we'll beat Wolves. Brighton away and West Ham both me. They're both games that Spurs can win. They're both. If we won them both, it wouldn't shock me. If we possibly slip up on them both, it also wouldn't shock me. So I'll go with. Given I said I think we'll beat West Ham a minute ago, I'll go with 7 because I think we'll draw at Brighton.
I think that's ambitious, mate. I think that's quite ambitious. I'm going to be honest with you. Christina's in here saying 6. Big up, Christina. Hope you're well. Same as you, Finn. Hope you're doing well. And guys, get your comments in as well. Finn saying win against West Ham, loss at Brighton. He's got PTSD like me at the Amex. Honestly, it's horrible. And a win at home against Wolves. I'm going to go with Frank. I think we're going to get 5 points. That's a little bit pessimistic, I've got to be honest. But let's be honest, Frank. West Ham away, I see a draw. You've brought up the 1-1. You've brought up the goalposts. I see maybe a 2-2 that could happen there. I think that's going to be the point we're going to get. I think Brighton, I can also see a draw, mate. I can see a 2-2 there as well. Another little Desmond. I think we're going to be drawing at the Amex. And I think, honestly, do you know what? It sounds sad. I'd probably take a draw at the Amex. I want to beat West Ham. I want to win every game, of course. Of course I do. Let me just clear that up. I'm just being realistic. I know how hard some of these away games can be, especially on the back of playing in midweek against Villarreal, which is going to take the stuffing out of us. We know our squad depth's thin. We might go to Brighton a little bit leggy after 2 games in 6 days, or 2 games in 4 days, sorry. I think that genuinely we could be a little bit leggy at the Amex. And then I think we'll beat Wolves at home, hopefully, touch wood, comfortably. That's my prediction for you, mate. I think 5 points. So unbeaten, not too bad, but we'll drop 4 points from the 2 draws. Let's go to the chat. Finn thinks win, loss, win. Christina says 6. Prasenjit says draw at West Ham, win against Brighton and win against Wolves. Big yourself up, mate. And Abdul Rahman has gone for win, win, win. Mr. Positivity, Abdul Rahman today. Very pessimistic in the window at times, mate. Very pessimistic in the window. Guys, let us know if you disagree with any of that. I'm going to go to the poll at the moment. Most people, it's very close actually. It's between 7 and 9 and 4 and 6. So I guess the average there would be about 6 points, like Finn said. Frank, any concluding? You're going for 7, did you say?
Yeah, I'll go with 7. I think you made a good point there. You kind of touched on it, that no game in the Premier League, certainly away from home, is easy anymore. The Premier League has obviously changed so much financially, and every club, I would argue, probably bar Burnley, have at least 2 players that I'm fearful of. And I go, they're a threat. And so every game in the Premier League is difficult now, especially when you go away from home. I look at West Ham and I go, yeah, they've started badly. But they've got Bowen, they've got Paqueta, Juve from fullback has had a great start to their season, although they haven't been great. They've got players that can hurt you, whether it be Ward-Prowse from set pieces and this and that. I then look at Brighton and I go, well, they've got Matoma. They've got, you saw Brojan Gruda score a brilliant goal against City to win it. They've got Jorginho Roos. They've got good players. I look at Wolves, Strand Larson, Marshall Monetzi.
Hwang Hee-chan.
Hwang Hee-chan, the guy who they signed from Palmeiras. I can't think of his name, but
guy from Genk, their new striker that hasn't even had a game yet.
Yeah, they've got players, right? They've got players that will hurt you and can hurt you. And so every club in the league has these now. So no game is easy. But I think if Spurs get 7 out of this run, it'll be brilliant. Unless 100%. They end up winning both the away ones and drawing against Wolves, then I will be very unhappy.
Agree.
Did Ward-Prowse go on loan to Forest?
Yeah, I think he did. Quite late on.
Again.
I think you're right. But guys, let us know if you have any concluding thoughts on that. And one more question for you, Frank. With the Doncaster game, I think we'll see a lot of, hopefully, the sort of fringe players and the young players coming in and playing a part of that. Who do you think is going to be playing parts of that, mate? Because we're going to have to rest Romero and Van de Ven in that game, I think. We're going to have to rest the likes of probably Bentancur, Paulinho, maybe Vicario, Porro, a lot of that starting 11. And so, therefore, who do you think we can get away with putting in for that Doncaster game? Could we put a Williams Barnett in that game? Could we play one of the youngsters at in defence? What do you think, mate? How much can we get away with that? Because don't forget, you expect to beat Doncaster. I believe they're a League 2 side. And so, do you believe that we can rotate quite comfortably, or would you be a bit cautious?
You've obviously got to be careful and you've got to be respectful of what you're playing. But having said that, if we play a team that consists of, whether it be Kinski, maybe Ben Davies and Spence as the fullbacks or something like that, Danso and another centre-half if Takai's fit, or maybe they try out Junai Byfield, who they've had in squads and things already this season, so they obviously rate him. Gray, Bergvall, Odobert, Tell, one or two others, Williams Barnett in there as well. If that team isn't good enough to beat Doncaster at home, I'd be pretty disappointed. And that's no disrespect to Doncaster, but we're talking Tell, Odobert, Gray, Bergvall, all of these guys who we kind of rave about. Johnson might even play. All these guys that we kind of rave about as they're this player and they're going to be great in this many years and they're all great and Bergvall's the best player we got and all that. If they can't beat Doncaster at home, then every argument we've ever had about these guys are kind of null and void. So as much as I'm not in any way disrespecting Doncaster, that's a game where Gray and Bergvall and these guys and Odobert and Tell should be more than enough that you can then play a Williams Barnett around them. I mean, he might play Paulinho just for experience. I think it's unlikely, but he might give a run out to Paulinho or someone just for 45 minutes. They might look to go quite strong and be 3-0 up at half time and then bring them all off. I mean, there's a few different approaches, but I imagine they'll be sensible.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I agree. I think Finn's right here. I think Gray, 45 minutes West Ham Wolves. I'd actually say I think Gray would start against Doncaster. I think some of the players that haven't really had too much of a run out in the Premier League, and obviously we've got to look at the Champions League team. Like, that team's going to get another 90 minutes in under their belt every single week. It's going to become very, very tiring and and very, very strenuous for the players. And this is why, again, not to go off on one, I don't think we were adequately sorted in the summer, because these games, look, we'll just put it back on screen again, every 3 days, mate. 3 days is not a long time to recover. So, yeah, I just think we have to be a little bit cautious on going forwards there. Finn saying West Ham can hurt teams with set pieces. They are going to be, they are a team of giants. Yet, you know, likes of Souček, the likes of some of their defenders. Good afternoon, chaps, says Logan. International break is boring. Completely agree, mate. If you watched the England game yesterday, I nearly fell asleep. I nearly actually would rather watch Countdown. It was absolutely terrible, I'm going to be honest. And I like watching England. I know that sounds crazy. I've always been like someone that likes watching my national team play, and it was abysmal. And the fact, cherry on top, was the fact that Jed Spence wasn't playing a part of it was absolutely horrendous. I mean, why would you not put him on? Livramento over Spence. I mean, it's doing me a favour, honestly. Thomas,
Can I just say very quickly as well, the disrespect to Countdown was harsh. Do enjoy Countdown.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'd watch Deal or No Deal, Homes Under the Hammer, anything over that absolute bore fest. But how's Livramento coming on before Jed Spence? I mean, Thomas Tuchel, I know it's Spurs related, but he for me, I'm not sold on him as a manager at all. I don't know if it's his prior Chelsea stuff, but I don't see us doing well under him. But anyway, that's to do with England, not to do with Spurs. Maybe I should make a little national team podcast. I'm sure that would put everyone to sleep at night. Drew Badenoch, big up yourself, mate. Looks like you're chasing down a seagull in your profile picture, but I believe it is a ball. Could be wrong. Anyway, mate, he says Daniel Levy took one for the team just to make the break interesting. I know, it gives us something to talk about. And that brings me on to our final talking point of today's live stream, which is to do with, of course, Daniel Levy and the massive news that came out, very surprisingly, on Thursday night. It was absolutely like the biggest bombers of all bombers. Daniel Levy sort of coming away from his position at Tottenham. Now, there's a lot of unanswered questions in terms of going forward, the investment, the transfers. Do we put more money into the window? Frank, I know you summarised a little bit of it on the channel the other day. Obviously, we've had the company's house confirming that he is, Daniel Levy has been removed as the chairman of the football club. Obviously, we have Charrington coming in as the, what was it, non-executive CEO,
Yeah.
they called it. Yeah, so interesting stuff. Guys, what do you think on the news on the Levy stuff? I know you're all going to be typing away now with your thoughts. Big up, says We Are Spurs TV. Big up yourself. And Finn saying the Levy stuff has clearly been on the agenda for some time and was already planned 6+ months ago. I think this is definitely the case with Charrington coming in, really forming part of that board and, making a lot of the key executive decisions. And I think that added to the fact that Daniel Levy has messed up 2 or 3 transfers this summer, it doesn't go unnoticed. And so if he was involved in the Eze deal, in the Morgan Gibbs-White deal, he's broken down relationships with Steve Parish at Crystal Palace, Marinakis, the absolute muppet at Nottingham Forest. I could have said something much worse then. But, he's broken down relationships. So if we want to go back in for Morgan Gibbs-White, we want to go back in, well, not for Eze now, but if we want to go back in for a player at Palace, the likes of a Mitchell or the likes of a Mateta, we are going to struggle with Levy. So I think it had to be taken out of his hands. And I think it's important that we now crack on, not only with a new person in charge of transfers, but actually with some investment that potentially could be coming in from Saudi Arabia, from America. And it will be exciting. Apparently, I've heard this week about an £100 million plus investment. Frank, I'm sure you've seen it as well. Just give me your thoughts on that, mate. And do you think that January could be a window we should all be excited about?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I'd say is that it's a little bit. I'm a little bit skeptical of everything I read written by Matt Law, to be honest. Even though it's a slightly positive bit of news, I think that he probably likes to use our name to engage with people and to I won't accuse him of clickbaiting, but clickbait a little bit. And so I'm a little bit. That was obviously from ENIC. That investment was the argument, and I'd like to hope that. That it is true and that they do spend some money. And I think we're probably all a little bit have our minds been cooked a little bit to the point where maybe we don't deem 100 million as a lot of money to invest. And whilst it's not in terms of what the club's worth, if they went out and bought Savinho in January, it'd be pretty good, right? And then that's going to sort of just come under that. So listen, I think right now, and I said this the other day, right now, not a lot has changed. And that's why I'm not like massively excited. Obviously, it's good news, and it's good news because Daniel Levy's gone, right? He's not the chairman, he's not in power anymore. He still owns obviously nearly 20% of the club. He says there's a comment, sorry. He still owns 20% of the club, give or take. And obviously that's still a concern. ENIC is still there, so until maybe they're there, maybe it doesn't change. Peter Charrington has obviously not had experience in running a football club before. I guess that's why Vinay Venkatesham's probably going to do more of it, and why he's a non-executive chairman. Charrington, I mean, he obviously was the head of Citibank, so he's obviously not had that experience before. So that's a little bit of a sort of a fear. You could argue, and I'm playing devil's advocate completely, but you could argue maybe it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't. And I'm not saying Daniel Levy should have stayed or whatever, but there's certainly a little bit of a fear factor from me still, because as I say, ENIC is still there, Daniel Levy's still in the background. Whilst it signals there might be further change, a good positive change, as it currently stands, I'm a little bit skeptical. But I think it probably signals, as I say, that something in the next 6 months to a year, I would guess, is going to happen, and someone's going to buy out a big share of Tottenham.
Sure. No, absolutely, mate. I was looking at the Football London article from Ali Gold earlier that suggests potential investment, and the couple of I'm going to bring it onto the screen now. The couple of things, and I can't actually show you the whole article because every time I scroll down on Football London, by the way, I keep getting stuff about Nigel Farage and stuff like that, so I can't actually bring half it onto my screen because it's absolutely nuts. Alistair Gold, have a word with your advertisement team, please, mate, if you're watching. But oh, Frank, that's your screen. Sorry, hang on.
Okay.
Sorry, 1 second, guys. 1 second. So yes, this week bought 2 new filings to the main Tottenham Hotspur Athletic Co. Limited on Companies House. The most recent ones was an unexpected one with the news that obviously Daniel Philip Levy, was the subject of termination of director appointment file on September 4th. That was the day it was announced that the 63-year-old had left his position after more than 24 years. However, there was another filing a few days earlier that has got people talking, Frank, and this is the key part here. It was created on August 29th, but was not published until September 1st, and was the registration of a charge involving the London branch of Macquarie Bank Limited. That immediately prompted suggestions that there has been a new cash injection into the club. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, I would suggest there probably has been a cash injection of some sort, or it is pending. As I say, I'm questioning where from at the moment, and there's obviously a very large moral debate about where it comes from. I would suspect, and this is just a hunch, obviously I'm not pretending I know anything, this is a hunch, is that I suspect Spurs will be bought out by the Middle East in the next sort of year or so. That's just a guess from everything that I read and the sort of the path it feels like they're going down. Which from a football financial point of view is very exciting. Whoever sort of comes in and changes it, because change is exciting, right? And as much as we sometimes don't like change and want to push it away, the idea of change can be exciting and can, certainly in a period now where I think it needs to be freshened up. I mean, I was listening to the View from the Lane podcast the other day, done by The Athletic, and I can't remember who it was on there. It was either James Moore or Jack Pittbrook, I think, that made a really good point. And I think it was James Moore kind of went back to why Ferguson was so successful at Man United. And it was because every couple of years he changed his assistant manager and he changed his staff around him. He stayed, but that he believed that was why he stayed and why he was so successful, is because the ones around him changed and it freshened it up, and it was a new approach. And I think up until 2018 or 2019, Daniel Levy and ENIC had done a good job, and I've said that enough. I think everything, the infrastructure, the lot, I think he did a great job. From 2019 onwards, I would say, from that summer, was kind of when Poch left. They backed Poch pretty well. They gave him Tanguy, Gio, who he obviously wanted, and then obviously they sacked him in November. And from that November 2019 onwards, I think Spurs have been stagnating / going downhill. And so I think that's a result of him. And I think, as you said, he's sort of burnt bridges now a little bit, maybe with Parish and Marinakis, obviously, Mr. Marinakis, and then City as well. That I got that idea with Savinho that City were probably just fed up. They want 80 million euros and Spurs give them 50. Well, no, do you know what I mean? that would wind me up, and so I think he's probably burnt enough bridges now that it feels like a good time for him to step away or to be forced to step away, and for us to move into something new.
I agree, mate. I agree. I think things have gone downhill, and we always seem to be behind our rivals, and now is really the time to get someone that has a bit more footballing IQ in terms of dealing with transfers, but also a new negotiator. You can't have the same negotiator for 25 years that's burnt bridges with so many top teams where we're trying to get players. Plus, of course, the fact that we have been behind our rivals for so many years now. And yes, we've had a good window, but I'm trying to compare it to Liverpool's, to Man City's, to Arsenal's even. Was it better than theirs? I don't think so, personally. Not with the fact we didn't sign a left winger, not with the fact that we didn't sign an adequate backup. And I think that backup is going to be really exposed in the coming days and months, because when we're playing 2 games a week, sometimes 3 games a week, we are going to be knackered, and we don't have the facilities for that. And of course, that's not just down to Daniel Levy, but it does play a part when you can't get deals over the line, when no one wants to deal with you. But in terms of the investment, the article goes on to say there has certainly been a cash injection, but technically it's money they already had coming, as football understands that the filing involves, in technical terms, industry standard receivables factoring. In layman's terms, it's the common practice of selling outstanding invoices to a third party to get money up front for something that a club expects to get over a period of time. So, for instance, in many cases, football clubs have used banks like Macquarie to get their expected television revenue in advance, and there's always seems to be loopholes. It goes with, for example, Chelsea selling their own women's team to, was it Chelsea or was it West Ham? I can't even remember, but one of them sold their women's.
Both did it.
Both of them, exactly. So it's just like there's going to be loopholes, and this is where, unfortunately, the dirty cash and money breeds corruption of some sort. People find a way around it and use it as a loophole to get an advantage, and this is where we're at. Daniel Levy's nose is too clean to do that, and so actually, ethically, if you don't agree, we actually need someone that's going to dare and do and join in on this to be able to keep up with the competition, because unfortunately, the authorities, FIFA, UEFA, the Premier League, the FA, aren't doing enough to stop this clear and utter advantage to other teams, and that's where we're at, and that's why, unfortunately, Daniel Levy is probably too honest to stay and remain as a football club chairman for me. So. And I think also you've got murmurs, obviously, with the overlap interview that he did with Gary Neville. You can kind of see now that maybe that was very much un-Daniel Levy. Like, he knew that actually it was coming for a while, and that he thought he'd have one final say, that, that I guess it's famous now, that quote where he said, I think one day everyone will appreciate what I've done. And I think
find it very odd, though. That he did that, and I mean, I know there was rumors the other day from the Times and things that he had no clue he was losing his job. I don't believe that. I think it was probably a planned thing for a few months.
100%. That was shut down by Paul O'Keefe as well. That was absolute rubbish from someone at the Guardian or one of the I think the Express or one of them. They were at the Times, I think it was. It was absolute nonsense, mate.
But I do find it a bit odd that he did that interview, and he did the one with Vinay as well, where he spoke about, I want to win the Premier League, I want to win the Champions League, and we want to. It was very odd that if he knew at that point, because there were rumours by the time he did that interview with Vinay, Thomas Frank had just come in, so this was like the middle to back end of June, and there were rumours. I remember it at the very start of June, as I went back in my camera roll and found them the other day, the screenshots I had taken and sent to my dad or whatever from Twitter. And there were rumours at the time. Peter Charrington was coming in. Daniel Levy might have to step aside. It was somebody in the nose and whatever. So these guys, someone knew, like, this was something that was planned. So why do these interviews saying you want to win this, and then go? I find the way that it has all happened very odd. Maybe I'm just slightly curious about a lot of it, but I find it a little bit bizarre.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Bublistic is saying, do you think the rumours are true? Spurs will go around 100 million for Savinho. I think time will tell, mate. I think January window is very exciting now, especially with Daniel Levy leaving. And I think it will be very interesting to see how much we do pump into the club, or how much maybe someone else is pumping into the club come January. But good question, mate. Hope you're well. And Finn saying hopefully an improved starting 11 where all of them are on over 100k in wages. It will attract higher caliber of players. Of course, we've already started doing that with Xavi Simons on £200,000 a week, Romero on around £200,000 a week. We've started to, I guess, enter the world of big boy money. And the question is, says Chris Stone, big up Chris. He says, who's actually running Spurs? Rumour has it that Joe Lewis has handed Spurs over to his oldest daughter, Vivian. Yeah, there's all murmurs to do with this. That's for sure, mate. That is for sure. But guys, really, really great stream, man. As I said, we were a bit impromptu. Before you all click off, 3 massive favors for me, guys. Please all hit the like button. There's only 40 likes on this stream. Let's get that straight up to 100. There's still 100 of you watching on YouTube. You've been absolutely great. Please turn on the notification bell down below. That's also free to do so. And subscribe if you're new. We're marching to 5,000 subscribers. The goal is to the end by the end of September. Can we do it? With the help of you guys, if you hit that sub button, you will help us. It's free to do so. I'll be whacking Frank's link as well to go and subscribe to his channel in the comments offline as well. So please go and subscribe to Frank's channel as well. But make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you turn on the notification bells and make sure you subscribe. If you are new, listen, hope you're well, mate. I'll get to your comment offline, put it offline as well with Finn and everyone else. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for all your support. And guys, we'll be back very soon. If you turn on the notification bells, you'll know when. Like the video, subscribe if you're new, and we'll be back very, very soon for another Spurs-related live stream or video. Thanks a lot, guys. And remember, come on, you Spurs!